They're a really athletic team, really talented, well coached. They got a bounce to their step. They rolled in and beat Air Force by 25, and we've never done that. That's quite an accomplishment, and it's not easy to do. And so it's impressive. They're a good basketball team, and it's a tough place to play, and so. Typical Mountain West Road game.
What do you make with what he's doing there? And it seems like he's got some transfers and stuff. They're kind of on the edge of being. He's really putting something together.
I think they're really good. You look at all their games. Even the ones that didn't go their way, they were right there. Hawaii game. That was a one-shot game, and that's a tough place to play. And Hawaii's got a good basketball team. They're playing so competitive and such good basketball, and they got our attention, no question.
And to them, and you look at Utah. Utah State lost Collette right before the season. They lost AJ West. They've still been able to kind of roll with it. Is the team different without a guy like that in there? Or what's
they seem to have not missed a beat. They're playing great basketball, and college basketball is such a war of attrition that you just got to hang in there and keep getting better. And I see that in Nevada. They're doing a great job with that, and I think they got, like I said, they're really well coached. They got great players, and it's just going to be a great college basketball game.
When I've been asking a little bit about how your team's been dunking the ball lately, but also you've been throwing lobs. And I know you joked that I think last year you were last in the nation, and you said you were like 0 for 17 or something.
Yeah.
Were you really, or what was the number?
I think we really were. I think that was what it was. So that's something we've gotten better at. It hasn't been a big priority, but those are big plays sometimes, and I think our guys are getting better and better at it, and we want them to attack the rim, and that's a good way to do it.
When you kind of look at now where this team is, just you talk about taking it one game at a time and stuff like that. What has enabled them to be able to do that? And how much has that been a focus, or is that something that is ingrained in them now?
It's definitely our focus, and it has to be. And if it gets away from that, it costs you. And everybody's too good in this league, and all the coaches are too good. The home courts are too tough. And playing here, that just because you get somebody at home doesn't mean you get the automatic win. As soon as you start believing that, you're going to drop one. And so our guys have done a nice job of that, and it's just kind of the way we prepare it and what we do, and it's the only way to do it.
You guys obviously had the run and the streak last year. You started it like a month earlier this year. What do you attribute to being able to kind of put a streak like this together, and how much better of a team are you now since maybe you were the last time you lost in late November?
It's hard to say. I feel like we've made improvements, and winning helps you with things like that. It puts a bounce in your step. Our practices have been really good, and they're getting after it at practice. In fact, I'm like, whoa, let's put the reins on that just a little bit, because we got guys playing good. Don't want any practice injuries, but you got to keep getting them better this time of year, and that's our focus. And our focus has been that for a while, and I think we're starting to settle into roles, and that really helps the team too when you start figuring out the roles.
I remember a couple years ago when you were losing a lot of games, it was tough for guys to come to practice and stuff with some of the heartbreaking losses and stuff. When you're winning and you're, is it more? It's an obvious question, but how much more fun is it? How much more is the energy and stuff when you're on a streak like this?
Yeah, and that's the hard part, because as the head coach, you got to, it affects me too, and you got to keep the energy up when you go through. You have to recover from it, and it's not easy to recover from those heartbreaking losses we had a couple of years ago, just one after another, and you sometimes lose belief, you sometimes lose the identity of the team, and so winning does seem to help you, but as long as you don't get complacent, that's the big key.
When after the game, and Logan Chandler talked about kind of there being this confidence that they can go into places like that and win, and they've kind of been able to exude that, I guess, especially last season. But how have you seen that with this team, especially being able to go into these environments and just kind of be able to take care of business, kind of like no different than being here?
It took a long time. This didn't happen overnight. Going through that first year in the mountain, I didn't know if we'd ever win a game, and the places you had to play were so hard, and the players were so good in the team, all the things I talk about, and we just kept grinding away, and we became competitive, and we became pretty good, and then that's kind of led to where we are now. But it doesn't happen overnight. It's a long process. It took 6 years to get to this, and that's what building a program is. But you don't get there and then it's automatic. You have to keep fighting, and you have to keep getting better.
I remember 2 years ago after you won in Reno, just how overexcited you were. That was one of the first big, conference road games that you won. I mean, do you remember games like that kind of
Oh yeah,
seem to turn the
but you have to celebrate everyone like that now because they're just as hard now as they were then. And Jerry Wainwright, assistant at Fresno, said that to me before the game. Don't ever let winning become the expected and become just the take for granted. You gotta enjoy these, and they're hard to get. And I think our staff and our players we celebrate those wins and we celebrate accomplishing those things, but we move on quickly and get ready for the next one. But you never lose sight of that. A, it's going to be, we're going to have to play great basketball to go get this done on the road, and then B, to what an accomplishment is to win those games on the road. It's not, oh, well, we're going to go in there and win. We don't ever think like that.
For James to win his third and Player of the Week in the last 4 weeks, I mean, as a coach, how I mean, are you seeing what he's doing out there? Are you saying that every game that this is a guy that's going to win the award again?
Well, yes, I am seeing what he's doing out there. That I think it's pretty amazing accomplishment. But we always approach those awards, whether it's the staff getting something, the players getting something, anybody getting an award, it's because of the team, and the team doesn't happen without his team. But on the other side of the coin is how well James is playing, and how hard he's playing, and he's just doing such a great job of expanding his game and continuing to improve. And so we're really proud of him, and we're really proud of the team being able to accomplish that.